We are fortunate to have a genius person, Dr. N. Sadiq Bacha, Professor and University Librarian, Annamalai University. This webinar, he is going to empower us to be a visible academicians. Joyfully, I welcome you, sir.
Let me present the topic now. Just please tell me that are you able to see the screen of mine?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible, sir.
Yes. Dear learned colleagues, the topic which we are going to have is very much serious for our academic purpose. Not only for that, not only for individual purpose, but also it's our responsibility that in the institution where we are working, in return, we have to do something for them. As we are benefited by them, we have to give them some returns. So how can we give them the returns to the institution where we are working? If it is the case, it is a must that we have to create academic accounts. And I'm very happy to see that the college, Jayaraj Annapackiam College, has achieved A+ score in the NAC, I think. So really, it is because of the efforts that you have taken and whatever the work you have done, it has been recognized by the NAC. And even you may have an opportunity to go A++ also in future. Let me talk about topic. Now here, when we go in general, if we ask, what is that ultimate that everyone wants in our profession? Simply the simple answer from everybody, irrespective of any discipline, they say that success. Everyone wants to be successful in our profession, what we have taken up. Any spurs of activity that we do, the only ultimate answer is nothing but the success. And when we want to be successful, first of all, we should understand what is the capacity of human being. When we talk about the human being capacity, it depends on the human brain. So actually, if you want to build a computer as equivalent of the human brain, it's not possible. Still, if any engineer wants to build a computer, and that computer, what it is said, it would be the biggest and the tallest computer in the world. Even it is not possible. Even if anybody builds in future, what it is said, we need a building to accommodate such a computer. The biggest computer. Even if we build a building, what it is said, that building will be the biggest and the tallest building in the world. It is ever built. Further, what assumed it is so, if we build even the building, we need power to run the computer. The power to run the computer means if we shut down the power consumed all over the world and the same power is given to this computer, even we have a doubt whether that computer will run or not. So that much of enormous power has been given to each and every one of us by the God. So that is the soul that we have. So everyone has been given the eminent engineer. The Lord has given us the computer hardwares. But why we are not successful? There is no any partiality. The Lord has given each and every the same software hardware. But what happened? We are not still successful because then what is the use of hardware without having proper software? So that we need proper software to be installed into the computer. So that this program is a type of software that I am going to feed in the brains of our academic people, so that we will be the winners. So that, dear friends, this having completion of this session, what I expect, we have to follow the procedure which I am going to convey with you, so that winners never quit, quitters never win. So if you follow the procedure, surely I agree. I am guaranteed that this institution, Jayaraj Annapackiam College for Women, will get A++ in future. So let me ask this question: do you have academic account? Academic account means what, sir? So do you have account in Google Scholar? Do you have account in ResearchGate? Do you have account in Web of Science? Do you have account in Scopus? Otherwise, do you have account in InfoLibNet? So though, don't consider as a simple question, because We have SB account. We have bank account. We are getting salary. And as we are getting salary, it is credited in our account. What is the source of our income? The source of income, our income is nothing but the job which we have. So that source of income from the job that we get. So for that job, why don't we have created so far? I mean the accounts. So these are the accounts are needed. How it is to be created? Let me go in depth. So do you have Artseed ID? Have you ever created Google Scholar ID? Do you have ResearchGate ID? Otherwise, Researcher ID, Scopus ID, Vidwan ID. So if we have these IDs, that we can say that we have created academic accounts. You can ask me why these IDs are needed. Is it a must? So let me tell you that the importance of that ID is nothing but to update your advancement. So we are updating ourselves every day, but do we have an accountability of all those things? Means we don't maintain any account for that properly. If we maintain these accounts, we can update our accounts in advancement in the proper accounts. And even what happened, the last minute when the CAS is called, at the time we run here and there to fill our CAS, career advancement scheme promotion forms. So if we maintain these accounts, we need not run here and there. Simply what we can do, having seen that academic accounts, we can just fill all those credentials in our CAS forms. And even we want to measure our own development. Am I improving or not? So how can I know this? So that to look back, what's my status in earlier, now how I have improved myself. I need some data. When I compare this data, then only I can say that I'm improving, I'm developing myself. So that for that purpose, these academic accounts are needed. And even what happened, it is quite nature that we think that always the other sides, other banks of the river is always greener. So that when we want to compare our skill with others, means we need some data. So that, and even the other side also needs some data to be compared. So that to compare our own skill with others, our academic identities now. Now, what to do now, sir? For that, we have two stepping stones. First, we should understand our quality and we have to measure it, and we have to update our accounts. To know your quality, we should have the basic knowledge about what are the adjudicative tools of academicians and what are the learning techniques and handling these tools that we have to learn. Okay, sir, let me go in depth. So I don't want to hurt anybody, sir. Just whatever the data available online I have taken. This is the graph which I show you that this regarding the Web of Science graph of Jayaraj Annapackiam College for Women. So far, from this college, 76 publications have been uploaded in Web of Science, the most qualitative database. The most qualitative data in a database in the world is one is Web of Science, in which Jayaraj Annapackiam College for Women has secured 76 publications, and the citations which we have received from this college 720, right? And 798 citations. And H index, when we talk about the H index, it's about 15 H index that Annapackiam College has secured so far. And one thing, I got surprised on seeing this data as well as Scopus data. And you have more H index. This college has secured more H index when compared to Scopus. Usually, all the colleges or all the institutions might have scored a higher H index in Scopus and less in Web of Science. But here it is in reverse order, and Web of Science you have scored 15 H index, and in Scopus it is only 13. Let me show you later. See, who are all the top authors in Web of Science? I don't know whether these people are working in college or not at present, but still their names are instilled in the Web of Science database. And Jayaraj, yes, in such a way you can have an idea that in department I have taken the topmost author is from physics department. So they have created academic account automatically. Once we have got publication in Web of Science, automatically the academic account is created. Let us go further. So up to this, is a small picture that I show you. This is regarding the Scopus. The Scopus data, what it is said that H index for this college in Scopus, it is only 13. As I told you that in Web of Science, it's high, 15, but in Scopus, it's very less, 13. And but when compared to the publication, it is only 70. It was only 76 in Web of Science, but in Scopus, this college members have published 80 publication. Around 57 authors are there, and these are the topmost authors. They are the topmost authors of Scopus publications. Chandra P. Helen, and one more is that Arulmozhi M. So these are the names available. I don't know who are all there and whether they are working at present there, otherwise have got retirement. Even what happened, those who have got PhD from your department may be considered to be as one of your author data. Only what it is available at present. Today morning only I have downloaded all those data and I have presented to you for your understanding. And even what we have to do now. So if you want to maintain academic accounts, means what are all the accounts to be created, sir? If you ask this question, the first thing we have to create is nothing but the researcher ID. Researcher ID is the ID created in Web of Science through Publon. There is a option there in the Web of Science. When you go to the Web of Science, actually, this is the Publon database. In Web of Science, you can, when you click Publon, it will show like this. In which we have to, how to create this account, simply in Google, type researcher ID. It will take you to, Web of Science, Publon page. There you have to register all the things. And this, right side, you might have seen that. This is the ID number has been given. This is the ID, Web of Science researcher ID. But what happened, if you want to create a researcher ID, mean at least one publication that we have to publish in Web of Science. Web of Science indexed journals. In Web of Science index journal, we have to publish at least one publication so that we have to upload that paper. When we upload that paper, automatically we will be considered for allotting Web of Science researcher ID. When we want researcher ID, we have to fill all those forms. And now the question is that those who have, even you might have published the paper in Web of Science, but you may not have created that researcher ID. Once we have published any article, means in Web of Science, we can create this researcher ID. Just to Google, go to Google and type researcher ID, in which you can, in which you can find that the researcher ID column will be there. There you have to fill all the bibliographical details and you have to upload one paper. You have to upload one paper so that your researcher ID can be easily created. But what happened to update? Researcher ID will be given after 24 hours. Once we have filled in application, it will be cross-checked in the London office. Then they will allot you, after cross-checking your publications in Web of Science, only one publication with the DOI. So how to fix the target journal in Web of Science? First of all, we need to publish at least one paper in Web of Science first. If it is the case, Web of Science is the most standard qualitative database, qualitative database in the world. Actually, it covers 14,000 significant journals, and even it includes 150 journals. 150 journals. Whether we want to publish an article in Web of Science Scopus Index journal, first of all, we should fix a journal in which we are going to publish our paper. So let me tell you how to find out the journals from Web of Science, because most of the people don't know how to fix the journals. So that's why what we have to do. Yeah, when we type JCR 2009, for example, 2019, for example, in Google, it will take you to this page. It will take you to this page. Let me show you online straight away. Let me show you online straight away now. If you type JCR, it will take you to the JCR 2019, for example, because previous year's JCR will be available. So this is the, Yeah. It will take you to online like this. Yeah. You might have seen that this is the, I mean, are you able to see this page?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So when you scroll down, when you scroll down, this page will be available. So all the list of journals will be available there. So what we have to do, in which we just Control F, click on Control F. When we click, just to type Control F, there we have to give what the subject we need. Chemistry means chemistry. Just type chemistry. So that in chemistry, how many journals are available? In chemistry, how many journals are available? Yeah, in Control F, for example, I just type chemistry. So around 100, it takes more than 300 journals are available in chemistry. One by one, we can find out whether that we have to go to that journal page. Then we have to find out whether it is suitable to you. Otherwise, you can find out the guidelines of the journal, whether it suits to you or the scope and coverage is suits to you. Then you can publish your article in this journal. So this is the one method to find out the article, find out the journal name in Web of Science. Let me tell you once again. So just we have to go for Google. In Google, just we have to type JCR 2019, because it's I mean, even 2020 has not been updated so far. So that what we have to do, we have to type just JCR 2019. It will take you to this page. In this page, whatever the subject, I have just this list will be available, in which you have to give Control F. In the Control F, the subject terminology, just to type the subject terminology. Now I go for physics once again. Physics, how many journals are available in physics means physics. I just type physics. What all the journals, numbers of the journals are available? It shows that around more than 300, even more than 200 journals are available. One is acoustical physics. Again, I click on this one. Next journal name has been given. Then advanced in chemical physics. Then again, in such a way we can find out, and we can find out the journal. One thing. Otherwise, there is one more method. There is one more method. There is one more method that we can go further. By chance, quite often we receive, what happened, quite often we receive the name of the journal in our mail. And it claims that that journal is indexed in Web of Science sometimes. That is known as predatory journals. Actually, Web of Science journal, they never claim for, they never give advisement to any mail. But what happened, we quite often receive so many mails regarding the, advertisement of the journal. We are asked to submit our article in that particular journal. Even if we, go to that particular journal page, it shows that it is Web of Science indexed. But we have to cross check it whether it is really true or not. For that purpose, what we have to do, simply go to Google, type master journal list. Master journal list. If you type master journal list, it will take you to this page. This is a model page which I show you. In this, there are column available in which we have to type the name of the journal which we have received. Otherwise, somebody may tell you that this journal will be useful. This journal is indexed in Web of Science. Don't believe immediately, unless otherwise you check in the master journal list. See, the predatory journal, they will give advertisement in our journal like this, in our mail like this. So when we go for master journal list, let me take you to the master journal list. For example, here, even we can go for master journal list. Here, when we type the name of the journal, it will show whether it is available. It will show like this, borderline like this. So here, even I will show you in practical now. Let me show you the practically how it would be. Go to Google, type master journal list. Master journal list. I have typed master journal list now. In the master journal list, the first one option, Web of Science master journal list, I have taken. When I clicked on that, it will take you to the master journalist page. It's free. This is the master journalist page in which master journalist, the search journals, the column has been given search journal. For example, if I want the name of the journal to be cross-checked, just I type, for example, Journal of Scientific Research. Journal of Scientific Research. Just I click on the journal, name of the journal, for example. If I just click on the journal, whether it is really available, it will show like this with the borderline blue line. If it is not available, simply it will say that the journal is not available, no source found. So it is considered to be the more quality journal, quality article. So that we should go for this researcher ID with this option. So two options I have told you that to cross-check the Web of Science publications, Web of Science journals, we need two options. Either we can go for with Google, JCR 2019, for example. Otherwise, we can go for master journalist. And when we go for this researcher ID, it will take you to like this. Here we have to add our paper, import from Web of Science. This column will come finally. So if we don't have publication of Web of Science, researcher ID cannot be created. So researcher ID is a real frame. If you say that I have researcher ID, that is, you will be considered to be the best article writer. So that we need in our college, for in this call, especially in your college, everyone should have at least a few papers in Web of Science. So that what happened every month, every year, we should have a target that at least 25 papers should be indexed in Web of Science. So we should fix the target, and simultaneously, once we have published the article in Web of Science, finally that can be added with the researcher ID. Once the researcher ID is created, it will show like this. For example, M-6214-2016. That is year of creating the researcher ID is shown here. So that everyone should have, every academic member, faculty member should have researcher ID. That is the main academic account to be created first. Next, this is the model researcher ID. If you have created the researcher ID, it will show what is the status of how many publication you have there in the researcher ID, how many citation that you have received, and what is your H index in the researcher ID. All the things will be shown here in this page. Next ID is RCID ID, Open Researcher and Contributor ID. Open Researcher and Contributor ID. Actually, why this ID is needed, this ID is not, given by anybody. Actually, we have to create this ID, very easy to be created in Google. We have to just go for Google, and in which we have to type ORCID, RC. It will take you to some page like this. This page it will be taken. As for the researchers, when you click on the researchers, there will be a form in which we have to fill in all the bibliographical information. Once we have given the bibliographical information of your own, then ID will be created like Aadhaar ID. Why it is, for example, there is in publication industry, so many authors are publishing articles, but their names are ambiguity. So with the same name, many people are living in this world. So that to distinguish the name of authors, it is mandatory nowadays that ORCID ID is to be, given to any article, any standard, databases. For example, even if you submit a paper in Web of Science, there is a column in which they will ask you, what is your RCID ID? Once we have created RCID ID, our citation will be properly credited to our account, because, for example, if an author name is that Ramasamy S. So in one article, he might have published with the name Ramasamy S. In next article, by mistake, he might have published that R. Ramasamy. So what happened? The system will take it as a Ramasamy S is one author, S. Ramasamy is another author. So that what happened, even if there is a gap in Swami, even it will be considered to the third author. So that for avoiding this problem, we need that RCID is a subset of international standard name identifier. So once it is created, what happened, last year what it is said, it was said, those who have created RCID ID, they can only publish articles in standard Web of Science or Scopus index, Scopus databases, what it is said earlier. Now the time has been expanded. Even this year, they have said that it is a mandatory in future. Unless otherwise we have RC ready, we cannot go for publication activity in future. So that once we have published, type RC in Google, it will take you to this page. One number is register. Once you have clicked on that, it will take you to the page. And once you have filled all those things, the model RC ID, I have created a RC ID. It's just like author ID. 4 number will be given. Here you can find that 0040-302-8533-1073. In such a way, the author ID is given like this. RC ID is given, in which all the columns are there, in which we have to fill all the columns about our education qualification, employment details. Even we can upload all our publication in this ID properly, and even all the calculation can be made in this RC ID also. So that the second ID we need to create is nothing but RC ID. The next one is the Scopus ID. Scopus ID, actually, this is a green card. I can tell you that. Scopus ID is a green card. Once you have published at least one article in Scopus, this ID is not created. Try to understand. This ID is not created. It is automatically given by Scopus. It is automatically given by Scopus once you have published at least one article in Scopus indexed journal. So here what happened, even most of you might have published article in Scopus. Even some of you are interested in going for Scopus publication. Means don't get deceived by somebody else. We have to check how to find out the Scopus index journals in online. Let me tell you that. Just type SJR on Google. Just when you type SJR on Google, it will take you to this page. Let me show you how it would be. If you type just SJR, it will take you to the SkyMago journals ranking, otherwise country rank. It will take you to this page. Here, this SJR, SkyMago journal and country rank, this page will be shown to you online. If you need particular journal, if you want to publish any article in Scopus journal, means how to go shoot your journal. Here, for example, click on this. For example, if you belong to chemistry, just click on chemistry. And is there any specific discipline you need in organic chemistry, in such a way, whether you need specific subheadings, you can select. Otherwise, all subject category also you can handle. And even if you have a doubt that whether as a beginner, if I publish an article in an international journal, they may not accept. If you think so, we can go with the country name. For example, I need only the public journal, Scopus journal from India. I just type India. Yeah. Now it will list only the journals which are published from India. See, all the journals are from India. And especially you need journals. Yes, I have selected journals. So around 17 journals are from India in chemistry. So if you want to publish any of these are the open access journal. We can click on this journal and we can go to the particular home page and find out whether the journal scope is relevant to your studies. Then you can submit your paper into those journals, so that it is very easy to find out. So most of the people, what happen, they believe on only the people who says that this paper, this journal is indexed in Scopus. But once they publish the paper, after that they ask us, whether it is indexed in Scopus. It may not be indexed in Scopus after. Finally, when we look at it, may not be in Scopus database. So that before submitting our article to any journal, cross-check whether it is covered in Scopus or Web of Science. Already I told you that how to find out Web of Science journal, and this is another method for Scopus. Whether you want publication, whether you want to go for any journal, whether you want to shoot any journal, that journal name, how to find out the journal from Scopus, this is the method. Even if you think that the developing countries will accept our paper, you can go with you can go like Iran. So otherwise Sri Lanka. See, around 9 journals are from Iran. If you want to underdeveloped country, even you can select that those journal name and you can submit your paper into those journals. So these are the beginners can do like this, so that we can at least publish one article in this journal. in Scopus index journal means automatically our Scopus ID will be created. So this is one method. So scientific journal ranking, to find out the journals from Scopus, this is the one method I can tell you. There is one more method. That is nothing but when you just click type Scopus in the this one Google. For example, let me show you here. Yeah. Yes. Once you type Scopus, it will take you to this page, the page model I have shown you there. Here, there is a column, author search, and there is an icon, author search and sources. If you click on the sources, it will take you to this page. In this page, if anybody recommends particular name of the journal, you can cross-check whether the journal is available in Scopus or not. How to find out, when you click on the sources, this page will come, and in which you have to type the name of the journal. Once we type the name of the journal and find sources, if we click on the find sources, whether the journal is really available there, it will show with this borderline like this. It will show like this. What is its site score? What is the highest percentile? And this data, with this data, it will show. If the journal is not covered in Scopus, it will show no source found. So that we can easily understand that journal is not covered in. And one thing you want to understand, my dear friends, majority of the articles, majority of the journals, they send advertisement, they send a mail to our mail ID that they claim that the journal is indexed in Scopus. Really, it is a predatory journal. That is a bogus journal. Don't believe on that. If you have an idea to submit your paper in those journals, means first you cross-check in the Scopus. How to cross-check? Simply go to, type Scopus in Google. It will take you to this page and type the same name. And having whether even the title is available, cross-check with the ISSN number. Cross-check with the ISSN number, because some bogus journal, the journal name will be the same, but ISSN number will be different. The Scopus ISSN number as well as that journal ISSN number, whether it is matching or not, find out. So this is another method. Once we have published at least one article in Scopus, automatically Scopus ID will be created. So model example, you can find that this is a Scopus ID. You can find that after equal sign, some numbers are available. This is ID of the Scopus 700 669, then 6144. This is a Scopus ID of an individual. So this ID is given by Scopus themselves, and we need not create it. So only the things, whether we want to create Scopus ID, means we have to publish a paper in Scopus indexed journals, so that once we have published at least one paper, automatically the index, the Scopus will give you the ID. And even when you go for, if your ID is given, your page will be automatically created, in which how many publication you have done and how many citation you have received, what is your H index, all the things will be shown in your Scopus freely. And next, and what happened, Scopus and Web of Science both are subscription oriented. We have to subscribe it. But creating this ID, there is no need of subscription. The institution will subscribe it, and we can check our publications, available full publication from the institution if it is subscribed. Otherwise, we can find out only the titles of the article. But one thing is that the Google Scholar ID is free, 100% free. Only the things, whether we have Gmail ID, we can easily create Google Scholar ID, and it is the best ID. I can tell that as a beginners, if you have not yet created any account in academic account, we can start their practice with the Google Scholar. How to start our practice? Actually, this Web of Science and Scopus has certain limitations also. So what happened? It is subscription oriented, and both databases are limited to peer-reviewed journals only. Web of Science researcher ID will take the account of only their journals. Their journals means the journals which are covered in Web of Science only, it will take consideration. Scopus, it will consider only the Scopus indexed journals, not all the journals, but only the journals, only the Google Scholar. It will take all the journals, either it is in Scopus or Web of Science, are freely available online. Whether it is indexed in Google Scholar, means it will take very easily. And even in Google Scholar, Web of Science and Scopus, we cannot go for book to book chapters, and reports are not covered in that. But in Google Scholar, it is easily covered, and we have option to, give the bibliography detail about it. So if you have Gmail account, I think most of you might have Gmail account. If you have Gmail account, what we have to do simply, just go for Gmail. Only you here. One thing is needed, that I think institutional mail ID is needed. Even it is not needed, you can go for like this. Here you can find this page in Gmail account. You can find that arrow mark, this one. You can find this type of icons will be available, in which if you click, it will take you to this one, this page. Here you can click more. If you click more, it will take you to this next page like this. Again you click even more from Google. After, if you click on that, it will take you to this page. Thereafter, products page, all products page of Google. Then when you scroll down, you can find this sign, Scholar, this type of sign. So I'm telling that those who have not yet created Google Scholar, simply in the icon, as I told you earlier, just click on that. Again, more from Google. Again, even more from Google. Again, next, this type of sign will be available. If you click on this sign, Scholar, automatically it will take you to this page. In this page, you have to click on that citations. First, you click on this citation. It will take you this page will be shown. Get started with the Google Scholar citation. Here, all of you are academicians, and you might have published paper in many journals, irrespective of either it is covered in Web of Science or Scopus or any other journals, predatory journals. If you click on this page, if you click on this icon, automatically, if your article is available online, it will show you that, and that article name and the journal and the author name will be shown. If you click on that, if you find that it is your article, if it is your article, if you just click on that, it will automatically bring to your account. Once it is brought to your account, what happened? This type of how many citation it has, that paper has received, all the details will come, and total citations will be shown here. And what is the H index you have scored? What is the I-10 index you have scored? All the metrics will be done automatically, and it will show you. But what it is said that Google Scholar, while you create the Google Scholar, it will ask you one question to give. It will ask you to give the institutional mail ID. Try to understand. This is the most important point which I want to share you. It will ask you the institutional mail ID. If your institution has not given any mail ID, institutional mail ID, madam, have you given any institutional mail ID to your staff members?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
It is provided.
Understand. If you have given institutional mail ID, means automatically it will be open. By chance, if you don't have institutional mail ID, even Google Scholar account can be created. As you have all institutional mail ID, that institutional mail ID, verification will be sent to that institutional mail ID. There you have to make a click. Then automatically it is shown. It is shown that verified mail ID is verified. Otherwise, it will show no verified email like this. No verified email. It will show. That's all. Okay. Then another one is that ResearchGate. ResearchGate account. The ResearchGate is actually, it is a block of Google Scholar. In Google Scholar, only we can upload the bibliographical information, not full paper. In Researcher ID, full paper is uploaded. Full paper details, full article details are available. In Scopus also, full article details are available. But in Google Scholar, it will link to the article, not it will, the paper, full article will not be shown there. We cannot upload full article there in the Google Scholar. For that, there is one more option they have given from Google, that is known as ResearchGate. If you have already Google Scholar account and a Gmail ID, you can create very easily. Let me show you. This is the page. In this page, you can find that. When you type just ResearchGate, it will take you to this page. But ResearchGate can be created only for those people who have institutional mail ID. Here, if you click on join for free, if you click on this, it will take you to the some bibliographical details. It will ask you some details. When you fill all those columns, it will take you to proper account, and the account will be created like this. Here, what is special with the ResearchGate? You can upload the papers, you can upload the article, you can upload your book, you can upload your thesis even, you can upload any reports, so that all the reports, otherwise all the article, full article can be uploaded in ResearchGate. So that what happen, if we upload your full article, you may have wider opportunity to receive more number of citation for your articles. So that you are making it public. You have to make it public so that number of people can visit your article, so that you can receive more number of citations. So that is one thing. And when compared to researcher ID, Scopus ID, and this RCID ID, and this Google Scholar ID, Google Scholar ID is not considered as a standard among the academic community. Because why it is, we have an option to bring all the papers to our account. While we bring all the papers to our account, whether we have the ethics we have to follow, whether the paper is published by our own self, then we can bring. What happened maximum to show our high academic account, what people do, even they will take the papers, though that paper is not published by them, even we have an option, we have an opportunity that we can bring others' paper to our account. When we bring the others' paper to our account, automatically the H index and the I-10 index will be shown high. So that it is a fake method. It is a fake method. Some of the people follow this procedure. That is why Google Scholar is not considered the standard, citation database. That's why, what we have to do, this ID is needed, but it is not we cannot claim as a standard. So next one is the expert database in FilmNet Vidwan profile. We have to create. Fifth one is Vidwan profile. In Vidwan profile, this is the model, the page. If you type Vidwan in Google, it will take you to this page. Here, you can find that registration. If you register, login as expert or login as a nodal officer or login as funding agencies. You have to log in as an expert. You have to register yourself as an expert. Once you have, log in as an expert, thereafter that IRNS account from your university, your college can be easily created. This is the model that I will show you, that this is the IRNS account created for our university. So all the people have, uploaded there in the Vidwan profile, Vidwan, so that through Vidwan, we can create our own database for our institutions. Here, we have created around 1085 faculty, in which all the departments are available. If you click on here, let me show you that. My own profile, I will show you that. I have gone for my own department, Department of Library and Information Science. If I select this, who are all the faculty members available in this department will be shown. All the faculty members available in the departments are shown here. Here, if I click on that particular faculty member, for example, I just click on my own profile here. If I view my profile, this is the research platform given by MHRD at free of cost. Once we have created all the IDs in the as well as in the expert system with one ID, automatically we can create this database easier. They have given all the IDs together. Try to understand. Here RCID ID, Scopus ID, Researcher ID. Now, if I click the Scopus ID now, regarding it is my own database, it is my own profile. Here, if I click here, let me show you with the Scopus. If I click Scopus ID, it will take straight away to the Scopus. It will take straight away to Scopus. What is my status in Scopus? All the things are clubbed in one page through this ID. Once we have created with one ID and IRNS database is created for our institution, Automatically, see, this is my ID, 26 publication in Scopus, and this is citation, what the H index I have scored, and all the things are shown in single. All the papers are shown here. And again, if I click on the researcher ID, it will take you to the researcher ID. Researcher ID means Web of Science Public. It will take you to the that particular. So that what happened? So there are publications here in this Web of Science 109 publication. This is citation. All the publications are shown here, right? Even if I go for this one, Google Scholar ID. If I click on Google Scholar ID, even it will take us to Google Scholar also. So how many citation we have received, how many H index we have received, or how many item index we have received, all the things are shown here. So that, try to understand here, what all the IDs are needed. Academic accounts means what are the accounts are needed. Let me sum up all those things once again. One is this one, researcher ID. Another one is Scopus ID. Then we have to create RCID ID. Then once we have got in publication activity, means these are a must. These IDs are must. Then we need this Google Scholar ID. Then to upload full papers in Google Scholar, we need a black ID. That is research. The internet blacks, that is known as research gate. Thereafter, we need the ID of InflibNet, InflibNet IRNs. Otherwise, we can call as a Vidwan ID. So that once we have all those ID, then our publication activities are properly measured and all the things are properly measured. So up to this, the details about of the IDs are over. So up to this, if you have any clarification, we can ask. And next, we have to look at that. What are the adjudicative tools of academicians? These are the things we have to look at. Up to this, if you have any clarification, if you want to make any clarification, you can ask me. Then I can move further. Any doubt? Hello? Madam, are you listening me? All.
Sir, is there any experience?
Yes, sir, we are following you, sir.
Create an author ID?
Madam?
Hello?
I don't understand what exactly you want.
Sir, is there any experience needed to create an author ID in Scopus, sir?
Only publication. Only whether you want to publish Scopus, I mean, create Scopus ID means only you want to publish one article in any of the Scopus and Research journal. Automatically, it will be created.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, Professor.
Okay. Any other thing?
Excuse me, Professor.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you have told that we need our institutional mail ID for creating accounts in ResearchGate.
Yes.
Of course, it's so, but if a researcher of a particular college, they may not have institutional mail ID.
Yes.
By that time, we can send our research publication, the list to the editor of the ResearchGate unit. They will permit us to create an account. They will give us a personal link. We can create our account over there using that mail link, and we can have a ResearchGate ID also, sir. That's also possible.
Yes, madam. You are right. Otherwise, we have to write them. You are right.
And another one is also, sir, in Google Scholar, we can manually add our publication as a PDF.
True. We can add manually, madam. But that's what happened, whether we add manually means we need to give the address, that particular site address where our online publications are available. We have to paste
the link of the paper.
There are 4 options there. We can add manually, otherwise add online straight away, otherwise group article also we can add by you clicking the plus sign. Am I right, madam?
Yes, sir. Really wonderful, sir. Wonderful presentation today.
Okay.
Very nice webinar, this one.
Right, ma'am. Right. Next, any other doubts? Shall I go for this one, the adjudicative tools?
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam.
You can
So
proceed, sir.
So actually, for our promotions, as now this is the, I mean, one thing that we have to create IDs. Another one, whether we want to go, I mean, promotion, nowadays our promotions are based on these indexes. So we have to create these indexes automatically. Once we are sure that we are publishing articles, automatically we have to concentrate on these tools. Let me tell you what is H index. H index is, this is the index. I mean, it's the metrics taken for our CAS purpose. If you go for any promotion activity, they are asking what is our H index, how it is to be calculated. For example, we should understand what is citation first. Try to understand. Citation means, actually, if we publish one paper, try to understand, if we publish one paper, while we write our articles, we might have referred lot of earlier publications, so that in our references, even in our reviews, we might have cited those papers, and that is the credit we are giving to that authors. And in continuation, we are given their bibliographical details in the references. Once that paper has been published in any article, any journals, it will be indexed. Once it is indexed with the references what we have quoted, that references, the authors will be given one citation. That is a credit to authors. If we do not give proper credit to them, it will be considered as a plagiarized. We have done plagiarism activity. Otherwise, our article has been plagiarized. So that once how many citations that we have received for our paper, that is the account to be taken into consideration. For example, if I have received only one citation, mean it is clear that one person, for one article I have received one citation, means from this article what I have written, from that article one person has been benefited and has published one paper, having gained knowledge from my article. That is the meaning of that. Let me continue now. For example, the table which is shown here on the screen, a person has published one article which has more number of 33 citations. Here what the formula says, the number of articles as well as number of citation, either it is equal or greater, where the line is, where the number of article as well as number of citation should be equal or greater. There once H index is started. For example, number one article, a person has received 33 citation. Here to create H index for that person, only one citation is enough. Try to understand. If he has published one article, he has to receive only one citation, mean one H index. When he published the second H index, second article, here when he published the second article, he should have to receive two citation in both of the papers, first paper as well as the second paper. Then H index will be 2. Try to understand. If he has published a second article, that article should have received 2 citation here, as well as in above also 2 citation, means H index is 2. When he published the third article, he should have to receive 3 citation in both in all the above papers also. 3 citation here, 3 citation here, 3 citation here. And here fourth publication means in every above article should have to publish, should have got citation 4. Here 15 citation he has received, but actually it is needed 4 citation itself needed for H index 4. And fifth article when he published, he needs only 5 citation. 5 here also 5, here also 5. Yes, it is fulfilled. When he published the sixth article, he has received 6 citation, and above also he has received all 6 citation in all the articles. But what happened here, when he goes to the 7th article, he has not received 7 citation here. Even if he wants to move H index 7, here also needs 7 citation. Person has received 6th article has received only 6 citation, and the above articles also has 6 citation, means that H index stops here with the H index 6. So this is the method of calculation of H index. So number of articles and number of citation, either it should be equal or greater. And one thing you should understand, dear friends, here 15 means 6 H index is 6. Here 9 citation is extra. So only 6 citations are taken into consideration. That is known as H core. In H core only 6 citation. In all the citation, in all the articles, only 6 citations have been taken into H core. Others are extra for future benefit. So otherwise, if you are not able to follow me here, we can just go for this one. If we type the number of citation here, if you go for Excel, in the Excel, if you type all the serial number of the article as well as the number of citation what we have received against it, then if we make a graph, line graph, where your x-axis and y-axis just crosses, there you can find that which one, the H index. Here the same data I have fed here. Here when I created the graph here, line graph, x-axis and y-axis crosses at 6, so that H index is 6 here. We can easily go for this type of calculation for H index. Now the frame is that how many H index that we have received for our publication activity. So everyone should have to proudly say that this is my H index. Try to understand, if the faculty has more than 20 years of service, means you should have to cross at least 10 H index. Try to understand, if a faculty has 20 years of experience, means he should have crossed at least 10 H index in his lifetime. So that is what needed. And in Web of Science and Scopus also, it is calculated separately. And another one index is, the familiar index is I-10 index. It is given only in Google. So I-10 index means what happened, I have received more number of citation, but my H index is less. Somebody says that if it is the case to, focus once more number of citations, how many paper he has received minimum of 10 citation. When it is calculated, it is known as I-10 index. For example, this is the data I have taken from Google Scholar. Here, one publication has received a 20 citation, that is I-10, above 10 citation, I-10 1. 2, second article 18, here I-10 2. Here third article also he has received more than 10, that means 16, I-10 3. Here fourth article also he has received 12 citations, and it is more than 12, more than 10, and that's why he has I-10 4. In fifth article also he has received 10 citation minimum, requirement has been fulfilled, so I-10 5. But when he comes to the sixth article, he has received only 9 citations. So that what happened here, it is not taken into consideration as I-10. So all these 5 articles are considered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why I-10 index is 5 here. So this is also the next frame. How many I-10 index that the person has received? That means how many article he has received a minimum of 10 citation. So that's also another frame. That is also another calculation metrics taken into consideration. And one more thing, most of the, people say that most of the, faculty members always argue that I have published the article in more than 5 impact factor journal. So more than 5 impact factor journal, if you have published the article, means it is really good, but it is always not true. Try to understand. Impact factor value is different in calculation, but most of the journal claim impact factor is wrong. Impact factor terminology can be claimed only by Web of Science journal, not even by Scopus journal. Impact factor terminology can be claimed only by Web of Science journal, and they are following proper as the calculation is. Egan Garfield has given the method of calculation, and they are only following this method of impact factor calculation. The other journals are predatory journal. They never calculate impact factor. They have their own calculation and claim as impact factor. That is not true. So how the impact factor of the journal is calculated, let me show you in practical here. So if you want to calculate a journal's impact factor, means actually current year impact factor is to be calculated with the previous 2 years data. For example, 2020, a journal's 2020's impact factor is calculated with the previous 2 years data, 2018, 2019. How do you know how many citation that the journal has received for these 2 years, 2018 and 2019 articles? So divided by how many number of articles published in that particular journal in these previous 2 years, 2018 and 2019. For example, if a journal has received 632 citation received in 2018 plus 2019, and a number of articles published in the same journal in the previous 2 years, 2018 and 2019, 671 means 632 divided by 671, 671, 1475. So the final answer is 0.428. This is the model what I have given. It is about the journal's impact factor, Nature journal. Nature journal is the famous journal which has received impact factor 0.428. But what happened even nowadays in our most of the journals, they say that impact factor 4, impact factor 9, impact factor 8. It is not true. Don't believe on that. So that whether we want to confirm it means, first of all, we should confirm that name of the journal in Web of Science and find whether it is covered in Web of Science or not. Whether it is not covered in Web of Science, the claiming of the terminology impact factor value, impact factor itself is offensive. That's why don't believe on those journals. And another one index that for our academic people is nothing but the performance index. So how our performance is, because we are working for a long time, whether our performance is improving or not. For that purpose, the performance index is calculated. For example, if a faculty has received a 439 citation for his 37 publications, the performance index is taken only for that purpose. What happened, in H index, there is a, demerit. What's the demerit, In H core, I told you that only 6 citations have been taken into H core. Remainings are wasted there. But here, it is taken into account. Even that citation, more number of citations that we have received, that's also taken into consideration in the performance index. The formula we can find here, citation square divided by number of publication, then whole square with the whole power 1 by 3. So here we can find that for the citation, the faculty has received 439 citation, means it is squared here with this number. And number of publication he has got 37 publication he has published in these years, total years 37. So what happened? C square by divided by P is equal to 520.8.68, which should be converted to the power of 1 by 3. So if we convert into the power of 1 by 3, what happens? 17.33. Here, this fellow might have got only H index 6 or 7, but in performance index, his performance is shown that 17.33. So that 17.33 is the highest score, so that he can prove that his performance is improving. Even this is also calculated for IQAC as well as for CAS credential purpose. So these are the things, adjudicative tools everyone should have to understand. But in Scopus journals, they are not claiming the impact factor. They are claiming SGR value. Skymago journal ranking, that is the value, as well as site score they are taking. SNP value is taken into account. They never claim for which one, this impact factor. Scopus journal, they say SGR value, SNP value, not impact factor, but only the Web of Science journals claim impact factor value. So up to this, any doubt if you have, madam, shall we continue? Otherwise, we can close it here.
Sir, please continue. Very good message.
Okay. So now, next we have to concentrate on technical writing. So actually, article writing is about writing technicality of any topic. So technical means not fully design or pattern oriented, but here focus on journal article writing. Articles are written to gain increased visibility, so that we should have the audience needed. So what logic behind it? Loose leaf to tight draft, make it specific. For that purpose, we have to read a lot of articles and we have to make ourselves revised, and finally we have to repeat it, then only we can get the quality articles. So if we go for publication activity means we need some skill. So solid written and verbal communication skills are needed. A strong technical mindset with the ability to learn new technologies are needed. And new technologies means while we want to write articles, we should have to use some technologies. That is nothing but when reference management tools should be used while writing articles. So that related softwares are available: Mendeley, Zotero, EndNote, RefMain. So these softwares are available. We have to learn at least any one of the software while write our articles, so that we should have the ability to write in a clear and concise way for the intended audience. First of all, every coin has two sides. We should not think that only that we are going to write article, our part is over. We should see all the other side also, the audience. So while we are able to cover the audience, the readers, then our article may receive more number of citations, so that we should be able to work on multiple research techniques on this. So here we should understand that as the research paper while we want to write means there are 4 types are available. One is short communication, review paper, research element, and full article. And maximum what happen, full articles have been written by academic people, but others are not done by academic people. Actually, when we feel that we are expertise and we have experience, then we can go for research element, we can write review papers, and even what are the new current trends are available in our field that we can write as a short communication. Even from this also we can improve our citation. That's what I want to convey here. So another thing is that whether we want to write paper means there is one more option to create academic identities. For example, if you want to create a Scopus ID means we should target the conference also. In the conference, the standard conferences, the standard organizers, they will publish their selective articles in which one? This one, journal publications, Scopus journal. For example, let me show you that some of the organizers, they will publish their selective articles in Scopus journal. So if we go for that type of conferences, even we can create our identities. And this type of conferences are available with that. They will never ask you to submit full paper. They will claim only, they will ask us to submit only abstract. Whether our abstract is really worthwhile, whether our abstract is trending and modern terminologies are there, then we are asked to submit full paper. That papers will be reviewed by the people. Then it will be accepted. Once it is accepted, it will be published in Scopus journal. That's also one method that we can go for the research, this type of IDs creation. For which we need to have accounts in these conference alerts. Once we have login and these conference alerts, for example, we can find here allconference.com. Let me show you that how it would be. Once we have login ID and password with that, they will send us notification what all the conferences available all over the world, international conference as well as national conference with standard methods, and they will publish all the papers in Scopus journals. See here, according to the subjects, so many conferences are available. Even if you are interested to go for any foreign countries, even we can have to log in with this site, and they will give us notification time to time, so that we can go for this type of conference also for creating academic identities. And as we people should understand what are the types of journal available nowadays. One is open access journals. Open access journals are both options are available, paid and unpaid. When we go for open access journals, our journal article visibility is more. For whether we want, what is the paid here, in open access, on behalf of the readers, that we are ready to pay the fees for them. In this case, we are asked to pay the fees for the in open access journal also. Unpaid means even some journals are free, that we can go for that option. Limited access journal means that particular institution should have the subscription oriented, and they are the responsible people. They will publish with their own money, and they never ask you money. And one more journal is predatory journal. It is always paid. Today morning we will receive the mail, and if we send our papers in the afternoon, in the evening we will get the acceptance, and next day they will ask you to pay the money. So this is predatory journal, and they never follow any indexing system, and it will not be taken into consideration. Another one is the UGC has now found out cloned journals. The name of the journal will be the same, even ISS number is the same. This name of the journal in UGC available in print form, but these journals claim in online. If we submit our paper in online, they will ask you to pay the money. It will be available online, but it is not a UGC covered journal. It is always paid. Cloned journal list is given in UGC website. You can find very easily. And when we talk about the open access, it is further divided into gold open access and green open access. Gold open access means your paper will remain open forever. That is gold open access. Green open access means it will remain open for, it will be remain for free for some time. That means embargo period, what it is said that for 1 year it will be open. Thereafter it will be closed access. The user has to pay money and then only they can download your paper. That is green open access. So who are all the, I mean, standard publishers in the, I mean, publishing agency, you know, Elsevier, Springer, Wiley Blackwell, Taylor Francis, Sage. They are the publishing agencies, and they are always indexing in Web of Science or Scopus. They are the standard publishing houses. And you might have known that in UGC Catalyst also, in UGC Catalyst you can find here, let me take you to the UGC Catalyst. The academic, we people have to look at UGC Catalyst every month, is especially why it is, you know, let me show you why it is so. You can find that Group 1, Group 2 journals are, Group 1 journals are recommendation given by our faculty members and it is included in the UGC, and Group 2 journals are nothing but the Web of Science and Scopus. Let me click on the Group 1 journals. In the Group 1 journals, as I told you that these are the, I mean, cloned journals. See, these are the cloned journals. Even the UGC has listed. These are all the cloned journals. Simply they have some variation in their name, as well as the ISSN number also will be the same. See here, this journal, Aruhu Kurutu, some journal is that. What happened here? ISSN number also same, but it has no any URL, that is print journal. But what happened? They have given URL through which your money will be taken and you will be cheated. So that we should be careful about of the UGC, I mean, cloned journals also. And here you can find that Group 1 journal, list of Group 1 journal. When you go here, let me show you here. So Group 1 journals, list of Group 1 journal. When we click on this Group 1 journal, it will take you to this screen. Here we can find that search and Group 1. What is the recently added journal? What is the recently discontinued journal? This is what we have to look at every month. Try to understand what are the recently added journals. When we click on this recently added journals, we can find out what are the recently added journals are available. Around 48 journals are recently added in this month. And even we can find out what is, Group 1. Here you can find again in the Group 1, what are the recently discontinued journal. Even sometimes what happen, you know, some of the journals in which we have targeted that might be discontinued. So that we should look at whether our targeted journals have been discontinued or not. So that when we click on the Group 2 journal list, Group 2 says that Web of Science and Scopus. Try to understand Web of Science and Scopus, as well as Modern Language Association journals are available. That is directly of Modern Language Association. They are also covered in Web of Science. So we can go for UGC Catalyst also. Try to understand. And what I want to convey you, while we have this type of, while we have created this type of academic accounts, we should go with some different technology. What you know, while we publish an article in one journal, for example, if I want to publish an article in this journal, it says that SJR value is some amount, they have said, SJR value. If we publish in this journal, our account will be, our paper will be available in Scopus only. But what happened, while we target some type of journal, for example here, this journal says SJR value. The same journal has also shows impact factor value. So the journal which has shows impact factor value is covered in Web of Science. The journal which has covered is SJR value is covered in Scopus. That means this journal has covered in both of the database, Web of Science and Scopus. If we publish article in this type of journals, what happened? One publication, but 2 credits will be given from Web of Science as well as Scopus, so that we can get we can achieve double goal in single attempt. So that's what I want to convey you. Find out those journals which are indexed in both of the databases. How to find out in both of the database? If we find out a journal which claims both impact factor, both SDR value, we can cross check in master journal list as well as in sources of Scopus, and we find both are available. This journal is available in both of the database. We should, send our article to this type of journal, means we may have double credit. So with this, I stop my lecture here. If you want to make any clarification, you can ask me.
Dear participants, if you have any doubt, you can clarify.
Even otherwise, you can, type your queries in the chat box. I will find and give you the answers. Is there any queries, madam?
Sir, I think you have clearly explained everything.
Okay, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Right, ma'am. Thanks.